So we're at round number 1, game number 2. Boston playing the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. And a dominant performance in game 1 as Boston took it 5-1. They're looking to go into game 2 and continue building the momentum, continuing a good performance here. A little bit of note beforehand, Nazem Kadri suspended 3 games for the hit on Tommy Wingels. Wingels is unable to play due to injury, so in comes the kid, the rookie, Ryan Donato from Harvard University. He's in tonight. Kadri, 3 games. See you later. But we're in the second game of the first round. Boston, Toronto. Here we go on the Bruins Recap Show. So we start things off in the first period, as we always do. 2U's, 2K's, Tuukka Rask. A very easy performance, I'd say, in the first game. Didn't have to face a whole hell of a lot. He goes up against Freddie Anderson, who let up 5 goals game 1. And Boston right off to it. Here we go. David Pastrnak making it a 1-0 hockey game in the first. Patrice Bergeron in the corner, gives it to Krug, who takes a shot, or it might have been a slap pass. Either way, it gets blocked, but finds David Pastrnak, who is able to control the bouncing puck, undress the defense and Anderson, and beats them all. 1-0 Boston, but very soon enough, Boston will find themselves on the power play. It's Jake DeBrusk, a little tip-in with a pass from Torrey Krug, cross ice, finds DeBrusk on the tip-in. Again, Boston still in the first. Kevin Miller make it 3-0. As, again, David Pastrnak gives it over to Kevin Miller, who turns a few heads, makes a few moves, and shoots it off of Zaitsev into the back of the net. 3-0. But the Boston Bruins not done scoring in the first period, as it's nasty Rick Nash, not Riley, Rick Nash on the power play. Torrey Krug goes for a tour of the offensive zone, finds Pasta in the slot, who finds Rick Nash in front for the rebound goal. Make it 4-0 after 1. By the way, after the Kevin Miller goal, Freddie Anderson out. In comes Curtis McElhinney. But Boston fans weren't having as much fun. McElhinney or Curtis does not have as good of a ring to it as the Anderson chant. But, a little bit of note, Boston, 50% scoring on their shots. They took 8 shots. They scored 4 goals. That's insanity. 2 for 2 on the power play in the first period, as they were last game. Power play looking lethal, might I add. But in the second period, Toronto finds some life. It's Mitch Marner. A terrible turnover by David Krejci at the blue line leads to a 2-on-1. Mitch Marner gives it over, gets it back, and beats Tuukka Rask. Nothing really he could do on that one. 4-1. But later on in the period, actually within minutes of the Marner goal, David Krejci, guilt is a powerful motivator, my friends. As David Krejci gives it over to Brad Marchand. Marchand gives it over to Pastrnak with the slapper off the stick of David Krejci, as it is in for the tip. 5-1 Boston. Toronto will find a little bit more life in the second period with a goal from Tyler Bozak. We take it to the third period, 5-2. But David Pastrnak will change that off as Brad Marchand can't get the shot off. Goes to the corner. Bergeron with a little tip over to Pastrnak, and he goes straight to the goal. Finishes it, makes it 6-2. Toronto will get a power play goal from James Van Riemsdyk, make it 6-3. But David Pastrnak will go through the wickets and then bounce it off of Curtis McElhinney, making it 7-3. That is a hat trick for David Pastrnak. So, Boston not as good in the second and the third period as they were in the first, but they still managed to soundly thump, the Toronto Maple Leafs 7-3 here tonight. We take it to the 3 stars of the game, and it's the perfection line. Patrice Bergeron, 4 assists. Brad Marchand, 4 assists. Or you want 3 and 2 stars respectively. And your number 1 star, could it be anybody else? David Pastrnak, have yourself a first round of the playoffs. 3 goals, 3 assists. The kid is on fire in the first 2 games of the playoffs. Toronto has absolutely no answer for David Pastrnak right now. It's all about the pasta. It's all about the carbohydrates. Boston taking a commanding 2-0 lead in the series as they head to Toronto to play the Maple Leafs for the 3rd and 4th game. The 3rd game will be on Monday night at 7 o'clock. We will see you there on the next Bruins Recap Show.